Forget what you think you know about French cars, because this could change your perception forever.
This is the new Peugeot 3008, and it's a massive step forward for the French company.
This is a massive departure for Peugeot, Danny. The previous SUVs from this brand were really nothing more than Mitsubishis in a French dress. They just put a body on top of the old ASX and the Outlander, and the old 3008 itself was nothing like this car. It wasn't. This is a, you know, mid-sized, small, sort of compact SUV. The last one was really sort of a crossover, you know, people mover thing. It was a bit odd, but that puts it up against some pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, it's a new era and it's a big deal, isn't it? It's up against the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Mazda CX-5, the Hyundai Tucson. So it's some pretty big names to contend against. But I have to say, I think this is a really good-looking car.
Yeah, I mean, I think the looks are the thing I think I'm least convinced by, but I love pretty much everything else about the 3008. I think Peugeot has hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yeah, and the cabin as well. I think this is one of the most stylish cabins I've seen. It looks high-end, just some of the touches, you know. I love the fabric on the dash, the leather seats, even like the lovely piano keys, and it's that typical trademark minimalistic Peugeot. Yeah,
I mean, I think it does genuinely border on luxury car levels of presentation inside. I mean, this really doesn't seem, you know, that out of place against, you know, the best that Germany has to offer, quite frankly. But it's got some stuff that, you know, maybe not be for everyone's taste. Peugeot is insisting on this iCockpit, which is basically the digital screen in front of you that's set quite high on the dash, and this really compact, you know, flattened off steering wheel, which is the idea being that you can sort of see over the top of the wheel rather than looking through the rim of it. Look, personally, I was able to find it, you know, workable in the sense that, you know, I could see just over the top, but the steering wheel was set at, I think, personally a little bit too low for my own usual taste. But did you find it okay? Because obviously you're a bit shorter than me.
Yeah, I've driven previous Peugeots where I've had issues with visibility with the instrument panel. This was spot on for me. And
the space is pretty good, you know. I think it's probably a fraction small. It's almost a half a size smaller than the CX-5 and the Tucson. Still, I think, got decent space in the back because the way the dashboard is designed. You've got nice big cutouts up front, so you can push the front seat forward if you have to. The rear seat backs have got space for your knees, so it's got enough space. It's not the most practical of family SUVs, but I think
boot space too, though.
Yeah, decent
boot space, and you can lift the floor up. There's even some like clever storage with your bottles. You've got some nice material so that that doesn't make too much noise. Wireless charging, a lot of advanced technology. Yeah, it has got plenty of gear, but this is the top spec GT model we're driving, which means it is fully loaded, but comes at a price. It's $49,490 before you start putting the options on it. But I think, you know, you're getting a lot of car for that money, and you do get a unique 2-litre turbo diesel engine with, I think, pretty good performance. So, but anyway, should give you a drive. See what you think. All right, Danny, you're in the driver's seat now. What did you think of the actual driving experience? Yeah, I mean, I've had this for a while now, and I quite enjoyed it. It does feel a bit stiff, and you can feel the bumps, but really no complaints. It's quite comfortable to drive. Yeah, look, that's a typical European trait. They're obviously got smoother roads over there, so they set their cars up a bit more firmly than we ideally like in Australia. But to me, it wasn't a deal breaker. I think it actually rides quite well. There's decent compliance. You do get, it's a little bit firm over the bigger bumps, but generally speaking, I thought it was actually quite comfortable. I think it's a good engine. I think the 6-speed auto does a fairly good job with the gear shift. So overall, I don't think there's much complaints with the driving experience per se. Even driving now, I like the small wheel. I can see clearly through it. Visibility at the front is great. However, rear visibility, just with the design of that rear window, is very restrictive. So fortunately, we've got blind spot monitoring. We've got all the advanced safety gear, and it really, you do need it for this car. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, you expect it at this price point. You expect all that stuff, and it has got AEB and forward collision and lane departure. It's got all the stuff that you expect. I mean, it is Peugeot, it is a mainstream brand, but I think they've just done such a good job on it
I'm really impressed.
Oh, so am I. And there's little extra things like, on the right hand side near the driver's seat, if you press, there's a massage button and you can get different types of massages, and it's pretty cool when you're driving. I think there's an unusual one, calf claw. So yeah, so I've tried every single one of them and they're great. So just things like that, just, they do give that luxury feel. So this does look premium to me, and it does look luxury. You can get some top spec cars that don't. This does to me.
Look, I think I know the answer, Danny, but has the 388 won you over? Has it convinced you of French cars? Because let's be honest, they are deeply unpopular in Australia. This sells, it's been on sale now for a few months, it sells a fraction of the number that, the Asian brands from Japan and South Korea sell, and even its German rivals, it's well behind. But they've done a very convincing job.
Yeah, I think it's a pity because this is underrated. You know my answer. I am totally smitten by this car. For me, it's a big yes.
Excellent. Well, yeah, obviously, I'm with you on that.